All right, this is Algebra, lesson 5.4, solving compound inequalities. Okay, compound inequalities look like this. Okay. Compound inequalities look like this. If I was to give you this, if I was to say x is greater than or equal to 52 and x is less than or equal to 72. Okay, so look, x is greater than or equal to 52 and x is less than or equal to 72. Let's put this on our graph like we always do, like we did in 6th grade. Okay, so what are the numbers that we need here? We need a couple of things. We need 0, right? There's 0. And then we need 52 and we need 72. Do you agree? Those are the numbers we're dealing with here. Okay. X is greater than or equal to 52, so that means it's going to be solid circle here above that, right, going to the right. Do you agree? But it says and, right? So listen, it's and, right, and it's also less than 72, so then it's solid circle here going to the left. So I'm going to put these in different colors here, actually. Let me back up. Okay. I'm going to put this one in red to the right, and I'll put this one in blue going to the left. Which is the part that is true for both? The part that's in the middle, right? It's the only part that's for both is in the middle. So then, the way you would graph this is you would go 0, 52, 72. You would have a solid circle here, a solid circle here, and it would be the stuff that's in the middle of the two, right? That's the two parts that overlap. Does that make sense? Okay? That's the and, because it's got to be true for both, right? It says that it's x is greater than 52, and it's less than 72 or equal to, right? So then it would be the part that's in the middle. That's how you'd graph it. If you see a statement that says this, what if it says m is less than -4 or m is greater than or equal to 7? Here's how you do this. If this one happened, does it say and? What does it say? It says or. So then the answer could land in either of these places. It could land at m is less than -4, or it is greater than or equal to 7. So how would you graph that then? You just graph them each individually. There's my 0, there's -4, there's 7, right? And now we're going to graph them each individually. Less than -4, is it solid or open? Open to the left. And then the greater than or equal to 7, solid to the right. This is your graph for our system here, for our set here. Does that make sense? Okay. Since it's or, you could say that, this is the answer. I mean, like it could, name for me a number that m could not be. M couldn't be 0. What else? 1, 3, right? Tell me some numbers that m could be. 10, -5, right? Anything that lands this direction or this, the only part that it can't be is the stuff that's in there. Agreed? Okay. Here's the deal. Sometimes, they don't always hand it to you quite like this. What they'll do is they will give you this. They'll say, okay, 14. That's how they'll write this for you. Okay? That's how they'll write this for you. Let's see how this works. Let's see what this looks like on our graph. Okay? Remember, believe it or not, there are how many questions here? There are 2, right? You have this guy and you have this guy, right? So, okay, here we go. What are the numbers that I need? Always 0, and then I have a 14 and I have a 100. So this one here is reading, how do you read that? No. How do you read this? X is greater than or equal to 14. You read it from the variable's point of view, right? So it's x is greater than or equal to 14. And then this one here is x is less than or equal to 100. So then, do you see where this is? That's the answer, right? I mean, I would get rid of that little arrow there. I wouldn't put that there, right? But there's the answer. This is telling you that x is between 14 and 100, including 14 and 100, right? Why is it including? Because they say are equal to, right? Okay, as long as you guys got that, you're in good shape. Okay, here's a tough one. Okay, I say it's tough. None of these are tough. Here's one that you have to think about, okay? So I'm going to give you this. I'm going to tell you that x is less than or equal to 12, or x is less than 2. I would like for you to graph that for me. I want the final graph. I want you to put down what you would write down on your test as the answer here. All right, so here we go. Do them both individually. What numbers do I need here? 0, 2, and 12. Agreed? Okay. The first one says x is less than or equal to 12. That would be solid circle to the left. Agreed? And how long does this thing go? Forever, right? Got it? This one says or. So that means that any piece of this that has a line is part of it, right? I mean, any piece. It's an or. X is less than 2. That would be an open circle here to the left. If you gave me that ugly thing, I would mark you wrong. Because that's ugly. That doesn't show me that you get it at all. What would it look like? How could you answer this to me as simple as you can and make it correct? You'd put a 0 here, you'd put a 12, you'd have a solid circle to the left, and that's it. Because it's already, this open circle is already a part of this guy. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Show me that you know how to do it. I don't want to see all this extra stuff here. That doesn't show me anything. This one shows me that you get it. Does that make sense to all of you? Okay. What about one like this then? What about do that for me, and I want one single graph at the end. I want you to do it as though you were, this is your test. Here's your final answer. That's what I want you to have, so you can show me that you know how to do it. So, graph them individually. What numbers do I need? 0, -3, and 2. Yes? Okay, so you're watching. The first one says x is greater than -3. Open circle to the right. Agreed? We all see that? Simple. And then the next one is x is greater than 2. That's an open circle to the right. So then where is the only part of this that I need to that I write down on my answer? Is the part that's both. Which is the only part that's both? Does this section here include both? No. So my answer would look like this. 0, 2, open circle above the 2 to the right. That's it. That first one here, this is not part of both. If it says and, it's got to be both. Does that make sense? Okay, here's one. Here's where they get a little bit nasty or tricky, we'll call it. Let me give you this. Let's go... Hold on, I'm going to change it really quick. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm going to show you one thing really quick here. Are you looking? How many questions are in here? It's that one, right? And then there's that one. Now, you see them? before you actually graph it, how else would you do it? How else would you graph it? You have two different equations. There are two different inequalities to solve for before you do it. Everybody watch here. The first one is red. Let's do the red one. It says negative 2 is less than or equal to x plus 2. What do I do here? I would go minus 2 minus 2. X is greater than or equal to negative 4. Agreed? So then, negative 4, 0. It's greater than or equal to negative 4. The blue one, or the green one, is x plus 2 is less than 10. Minus 2 minus 2. X is less than 8. So here is 8. X is less than 8 to the left. What would this look like in my final, if I'm going to write this, I don't want to see it like that. I would go 0, negative 4, 8. Solid circle this direction, open circle that direction. I'm done. That's an and. This is definitely an and statement. If you ever see that look like this, like that up here, that's an and statement for sure. It's telling you it's true, right? Because look, what is it saying? Look at this. It's saying that this right here is greater than that and it's less than that. Does that make sense? It's telling you that. Here we go. What about this? What if I gave you this and said, all right, and said, please write for me an inequality for that. We're just going to go in reverse. We're going to reverse that. Write an inequality for that thing right here, right now. That's an and statement. How do you know it's an and statement? Because it's the part that's in the middle, right? It's the part that's in the middle. It's an and statement because there's a beginning and an end to both sides. So I'm going to want you to write this correctly. If you have an and statement, which this tells you it's an and statement, how do you know it's an and statement? Because look, it's greater than something and it's less than something. Do you see what I'm talking about? I mean, there's no end, there's no forever each direction, so there's got to be an end over here and an end over here, so it's going to look like this. You would put an x or an n, whatever you chose, in the middle, and you'd say it is less than or equal to, actually you want to put this in numerical order, so you'd go it's greater than negative 5 and less than or equal to 7. That's how you'd write that. You want to put the smaller number on the left, just like we would do, numerically. Does that make sense? How have you got this? Are you looking at those? Does that make sense? I mean, technically going like this, x is greater than negative 5 and x is less than or equal to 7 is not wrong. It's just that's written out very elementary. Okay? Do one of these then. Show me this. So this is an or statement because you see that no part of this doubles up, right? There is no part of this that doubles. So therefore you would say this is x is less than or equal to negative 8 or x is greater than 2. That would be your answer. And if you want to do this correctly, watch here, you would go, the solution set for x is less than or equal to negative 8 or x is greater than 2. Just like before, if you're going to do a solution set builder notation, you'd go solution set of x is, and then finish it. Make sense? Okay. I don't think there's anything on here. They do have you do some of these word they use words to describe the problem. That's something you should be able to do. We did that yesterday. I think you're in good shape here. I don't see any. They're going to have you graph them all, which is good. All right, I'll give you guys your homework. Today's the 9th. Page 306 to 307, 6 through 27 even. Nah, I'm changing that. 6 through 32 even. I'm sorry, what was that? I'm going to change that. We're going to make that 6 through 34 even.
Yay. I love it.